mushrooms. It's been my experience through the years of dealing with working with people and food and that kind of thing, that people either love them or hate them. Now, if you are in the love them category, then I think you're going to appreciate what we're going to do today in preserving the harvest. Or if you're in the hate them category, like my three youngest children are, who happen to be adopted, which is interesting to me because all three of them absolutely despise mushrooms, which is interesting. So I don't know, something about family likes and dislikes and DNA and genes, it's just fascinating to me. I'll tell you in a minute how we deal with pickiness in our family and my strategy for that. But also, Little Miss Homemaker has learned that she doesn't care for cooked mushrooms, but she will eat raw mushrooms. So sometimes it is a texture issue and not a taste issue. If you're in the hate them camp, that's fine. I respect that. But also, do you dislike them because of the taste or because of the texture? Because cooked or uncooked is totally different. But I want to encourage you to expand your horizons by learning how to put up or preserve mushrooms. You can dehydrate them like we're going to do today, and then powder them in a blender, high-powered blender. I use a Vitamix, is what we have in our home. Highly recommend. And you can powder them and add that powder to umpteen things. I'm talking soups, stews, casseroles, gravies, smoothies. I mean, almost anything you can imagine. Because honestly, in my opinion, they don't really have a distinct flavor. You might disagree. But I feel like this is more of the category of zucchini and eggplant kind of idea, where the mushrooms in this case, take on the flavors of whatever is mixed with it. So for example, if you had mushroom powder in your gravy, you would never know it because it would be overpowered by those other flavors. So I'd like for you to expand your horizons and your thought processes today and join me as we are going to dehydrate these mushrooms and save the harvest, called putting by is what I've always called it. Well, thanks for joining me today. I am Miss Katie, and this is Heritage Ways, where we create cozy homes. I create a cozy home, and I have been blessed to do that for years. This is cozy homemaking with old-fashioned family values. Now, I did mention family. In our family, each person is allowed to not care for 3 foods. So if there's a food, I don't want my children to be picky. I feel like that is a result of ungratefulness, in my opinion. That's my philosophy, and so we need to be grateful, especially now when, the food supply might be limited. But also, they are allowed to have 3 foods that I don't make them try or anything like that. Mushrooms is one of those 3 foods for my 3 youngest children. However, Little Miss Homemaker has decided that she likes to eat raw mushrooms in her salads. She just doesn't care for cooked mushrooms. And I can understand where she's coming from, because there is a big difference. Another food that they don't care for is shrimp or crab. And it's interesting to me because I think it's a texture issue, because shrimp and crab is a little bit same texture as cooked mushrooms. So I get that and I respect that. That's how we deal with foods that people want to be picky about in our family. I found a good sale at Aldi, so I bought a box of these, or a flat of these, and I've already used one to put in some pot roast, instant pot roast that I made, because Mr. Patient and I love mushrooms, and they're so healthy for you. I encourage you to research. All different kinds of mushrooms are very, very beneficial for you. So these actually, I was excited to find that grown in the state of Pennsylvania, which borders us here in Ohio. And I love buying as locally as I can, and I felt like that was pretty local compared to, West Coast or somewhere else. Love to be able to grow my own someday. That's on the list of things to want to do. So I found a pretty good price because these typically are $3 and $4, even more than that sometimes. And I found them for $1. I think it was either $1.49 or $1 something, $1.79. So I just bought a whole box of them. And what I'm going to do is I have a video of how to properly clean mushrooms and wash mushrooms and slice them. And that is very valid. But I do want to tell you, with this many, that will probably take too long. So I'm not going to clean them in the method that I do in that video. What I'm going to do is actually put them in water, probably 2 or 3 of these containers at a time, maybe just 2, because I've already experimented. I know how this is going to work. And so I'm going to put them in water just to get off the loose dirt, and then I'm going to use my hands to finish cleaning them. And this will get off all the dirt, which is important to me. So the reason in my other video that I do not immerse them in the water is that mushrooms absorb liquid, and you don't really want to do that if you're washing them for a salad or what have you. In this case, I will be dehydrating them, and I have a lot to wash and slice, so I honestly do not have the time today to use the proper method that I talk about in the video that I have here on this channel. So I'm just going to wash these, clean them up, slice them, put them in my dehydrator. I'll put them in the dehydrator no more than 105 degrees. The reason for this is that you are retaining the live enzymes under 105 degrees. Now, the live enzymes will not, your food will not mold or mildew. You can still store it if it has been dehydrated at 105 degrees. But also you're retaining a lot of the healthy enzymes at that temperature. I have used that temperature for, I think I've been dehydrating, especially in my Excalibur, for about 21 years, regularly, faithfully, at the 105 degrees for fruits and vegetables, and have stored things like my dehydrated okra. I've stored that for 4 or 5 years, no problem whatsoever, ever. 100% success. Now, our meats, our jerky and things like that, we do it at a higher temperature, but today we're just talking about the mushrooms. So 105 degrees, and I have a Nesco, and I have an Excalibur Dehydrator. So I can, so I will be putting these in there, and we'll see how long it takes, and then I'll simply store them, or I could powder them if I wanted mushroom powder. Well, friends, we're done, and I forgot to actually time it for you, but it is easily less than 24 hours, and you know, these are really brittle, so you could do it less than 24 hours. It also, I feel like, makes a difference on whether or not it's humid out and that kind of thing. This was on my porch too, by the way. These are probably a little too dehydrated because they do break, but that doesn't bother me. I know I've had other mushrooms that were kind of bendy, if you will. Leathery would be a good word, but these are just fine. I will let them just cool down a little bit because they are warm, but I'll let them cool down, and then I will put them in a jar and label them. I do want to mention that these are baby portobello mushrooms, so they are more meaty, if you will, more dense, and they hold up well to dehydrating. They are very, they're, you know, good meat substitute in a sense that they are not as porous as other types of mushrooms.